Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tunish annual study session, where we study once a year. Yeah, that sums it up. We'll be doing this once a year, studying. You shouldn't study chess more than once a year, so this is the annual study session. Welcome all to the Tunish. Mic test. Is my mic on? Hello. Oh my God, is it on? It is on. Okay. Hey Goober, welcome to the Tunish annual study session. Today we'll be studying once a year. Hey Noah. Yeah, we're studying today. We're doing this once a year. That's Cap. Yeah. You guys know what this is? This is the very annoying line. Okay, we'll be going over stuff that gives us problems. I'll start. I'm good. How are you doing? How's your New Year and Christmas? Did you get presents or no? Okay, we're going over this first. This is a super annoying line against the Landon system. This gives people a lot of headaches. This gives me headaches. Ugh. Hey Book, welcome to the first annual Tunish study session, where we study once a year. And then, hey Dawson, Gallian, hi everybody. How to teach you guys how to blender. Correct you are. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so this gives us this big problems, right? This little C5 nonsense. We're gonna go over, I think, 2 or 3 systems how we can deal with this. Okay, now we're gonna be collaborating and incorporating together. So what do you do against this? Who knows? There's a couple different lines here. Any D4 people in the building? Who knows what to do? You take? Oh, you could take. Taking is actually a bit of a draw. After I go over this, we'll start doing what you guys want to do. But so taking is a bit of a draw. What's the best move to get an advantage here? Does anyone know or no? Anyone know or no? You're sucking at cup pong. I call it cups. There's a bit of a meme. Knife F6. Yeah, okay. I mean, you could play knife F6, but what's the line to play for a win? Does anyone know how to play for a win instead of a draw? There's a couple different ways to deal with this. There's actually a bunch of different ways, but the best way to deal with this as a Landon system player, I know it breaks every single rule, is D5. You push the pawn. Yeah, so it's not actually a free pawn. Taking the pawn is a bit of a draw, but D5 is the move you play for advantage. D5 is, what is this? The old Benone or something? So the reason we're playing D5 is because in the Landon system, we see this Queen B6. Ooh, gross. Queen B6, and hold on, I have to do this. With Queen B6, a bit of an issue is that this pawn is flubby W's. You know what I'm saying? But now the bishop is not out of the pawn chain, excuse me. So this Queen B6 is not that much of an issue. Wow! Oh my goodness! Yeah, so this gives white a bit of an advantage, I would say. What does the analysis say? Who knows what Stockfish says this is for white now? What do you guys think? Does anyone know? Or it says you never played D4. Yeah. Yeah, but this will be shared with everyone. Guess how good this is for white? It's actually pretty good. It's +1. Isn't that nice? This is +1. So this is how you play for a bit of an advantage. This Queen B6 is no longer a threat because the bishop's over here. See this bishop thing defending the pawn? That's pretty good. Yeah, so a couple different ways to continue here. Most obvious is E4. Oh! Hey, Eldubus. E4. Yeah. And I'm actually wondering the most played move not on the Masters database. I'm curious here. So guess the most played move here. I think it's actually slightly obvious, but what do you guys think the most played move here is? Quite interesting, I would say. I think there's wow, it's actually pretty skewed. LW says D6. It's not D6. There's a different move. Yeah, but this is a different system you can play if you play the Landon system. Does anyone have any lines they want to go over? If not, I'll just do my lines. Who's playing Queen B6 in this position? You would be surprised. I think you would get a lot of Queen B6 lines. Especially if you're playing in Blitz or Bullet. I doubt Queen B6 is a thing, but the thing is that we're going over a bunch of things, right? So it's a study session. I'm just showing you guys something. So E4, black actually plays E6 here. Yeah, and this is something that I've studied a little bit. And you play c4 here, reinforcing the pawn, and it gets quite nice indeed. Yeah, if you tell me the moves for it, we can absolutely study it. Absolutely, that's the point of this. Yeah, so I actually like c4 a lot, making this super sexy pawn chain. Look at that, super sexy. Yeah, even like knight c3, right? Hey, Toxin, how are you today? Yeah, so obviously queen b6 is not a move you'll probably see much. What do you guys think the move is that you will see a lot here? I'll probably make the queen b6 a sideline. There is a big one. Anybody know? Any takers? I think the main move. I guess we'll probably see two, right? Two main moves. Yeah, d6 or e6. Or knight f6. D6 is the most popular, I guess. They play d6 and then c4. I'm starting to learn this. This is better than playing the boring London system. Oh, gross. Senjo Baba line? Sure. That sounds great. If you guys have some specific stuff, that would be awesome. Yeah, so this is already, like, if you look at this position, we'll compare if, like, taking the pawn and other things. I'll make this main line. Give me a second. But this is already, like, way nicer for white. You have way more space. It's way less drawy. If black doesn't know what they're doing, they're in trouble. But you should still know what you're doing here. Black, I think, continues with knight f6. Here we have the developing move, knight c3. I think eventually we're aiming to play, like, e4 and stuff like that. This is just a really nice system if you play the Landon system. To not play the Landon system, because that's disgusting. I think a couple other variations here. Main move looks like g6. G6, they and Dorito, and then I think you could just eventually play e4, and it's quite nice indeed. Quite nice indeed. Yeah, I've started to play this recently. I haven't played this in a long time, but I know I have to play this. Now, if we go back to the beginning, you could take the pawn here. This is a bit more of a drawer. Definitely more of a drawer. That's like kind of playing into black's hand. Okay, so what does black play here? Who knows? I guess there's two moves. Black has a way to immediately get back the pawn. Does anyone know how? There's a very tricky move. It's insanely tricky that no one will see it, because it's so complicated. How does black get back the pawn immediately? And you're like, huh? E4. Well, I don't think black can play E4, but I like the way you think. Or says E6, E5. Yeah, so I think there's a couple ways. But first of all, if they push this pawn, this thing is attacked, and that's maybe not so good. But they could also just play this queen move. You know, knight c3, and then I guess they could take the pawn, right? So basically, if you play this system in the Landon, it's not the best, just because now you don't have the d pawn, and a lot of your plans just don't exist, because the Landon system is basically the system you use if you don't like to think. And now you have to think. Terrible. What the fuck? Now you have to think and the plans change. Queen takes c5 and the pawn is gone. What the hell? You're 251 ELO player. Want to reach 800 the next 12 months. 75 chess tips to get better. I would say if you have to focus on 75 things, you'll never get better. I would say focus on a couple things, right? Focus on a few things, and then that's how you get better. The more things you focus on, the worse you get. I know that sounds convoluted, but it's the truth. Okay, yeah, so this position is a bit of a draw. So what I recommend here is actually this little Benoni system. I think this is quite nice. I just wanted to briefly start us up. Okay, LW said what was it? The Meadow Haywire thing or something? Tell me what it's called, LW. I'm gonna put you in. Let's see, what is it called? The Meadow Hay thing? Meadow Hay Fever? Is that correct? Meadow Hay Fever or something? Meadow Haywire? Into Chuck Benoni. 15 principles. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, LW, what's it called? Hold on. Just tell me what it's called first. I'm gonna put LW. Meadow Hay. Okay, Meadow Hay Trap. Let's talk about this. Okay, A4. Oh shit, A4. Okay, A4, E5, Rock A3. Love it. This is perfect. You mean the Pirate Gambit? Knight takes. Are you playing this? Are you playing the Pirate Gambit? Are you helping the legacy? D3. No, this is the Pirate Gambit, by the way. D5. You used to do this. Yeah, same. This is the Pirate Gambit. Knight F6. Are we actually covering this or are we memeing? King's Indian a lot. Yeah, that's something we can go over too. The Joe Blanco London system against the King's Indian. Okay, hold on. Oh, Debbie, do you actually want to cover this or no? You're definitely trolling, right? If you're not trolling, you may have messed up this line. Incredible. Okay, we'll get back to you. Let's go over the Joblava London system really quick, because a lot of people might benefit from this actually. Okay, so are we looking from White's POV or Black's POV? You're 5 feet and 8. Oh shit, you're bad. You're too young for this channel. Sorry, bro. You might want to unsubscribe. Okay, the Joblava London system. Who asked for this again? This was play the King's Indian a lot, but the Joblava has been played a lot. I don't know how to counter against a good Joblava player. Yeah, okay. So I guess we'll look at this from both sides of the field. So with the Joblava against King's Indian, move order, I guess, like this. Yeah. Nice and simple. Yeah, this is a bit tricky to counter. I mean, the Joblava is a really good, I think, resource against the King's Indian. I don't like playing against it either. It's a bit of it hurts your brain a lot. Okay, so Queen D2, and then they cattle, and then we long cattle. Who said this again? This was Cheese, right? Okay, I think there's a couple different moves. There's actually a shitload of different moves that I think Black can play here. One of the most I would actually recommend, I've seen this C6 move is actually pretty good for Black here. I've been actually experimenting with C6. I'm going to look at this from both sides. So C6 is a really nice move. It starts your attack off, and it's a really nice way, I think, to counter attack. I'm kind of curious what most people play here. Yeah, so bishop H6. Definitely don't want to take this bishop. That's just inviting the queen to take, and it's not really fun at all. So with C6, we actually can push on this king side, or the queen side, and probably it's going to be a pretty annoying game, I would say, but this, I think, is really good odds if you want to beat the Joblava London. I mean, the Joblava London is really annoying to play against if you play as the King's Indian. Well, okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, top move here is actually surprisingly F3. Always play F3, I guess. And then we continue pushing the pawn. Let me show you, what does Stockfish say here? Yeah, so white is only like slightly winning here, which is kind of interesting. It gets very tricky, I think, very quickly. I want to see the lines. How do I see this? We see the Masters games. Okay, so Queen A5 has also been played here. Okay, I never even thought of that. Yeah, Queen A5 is interesting. I think this is a bit trappy too. Like very, very slightly trappy. Yeah, I think with Queen A5, you could threaten even like this and then taking, and then when the knight moves, you win the pawn, which I think is good too. Is anyone actually getting benefit from this? I don't know if anyone is. This might just be me yapping. Is anyone getting any benefit from this? We don't have to do this. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know if anyone is getting any benefit from this, but this is something I've started to play. This C6 line and then this, and then I push the pawn. Is this okay? I mean, if you're getting benefit, okay. Yeah, okay. So this is something I think you really, really need to know if you're playing the King's Indian, because this gets like very sketchy very quickly, especially with moves like, I think, H4, H5. And I actually play this against the King's Indian quite a bit. Now, something I'll also do is sometimes instead of this, I'll even play like H5. I don't think H5 is that played. Hold on. Let me see the stockfish lines. Yeah, I'm going to put on a lot of stockfish lines. I'm kind of curious. Okay, so yeah, there's a bunch of different stockfish lines. The best move here, amazingly, is actually C6, just because I think it's the best way to counterattack. Yeah, so like I was saying, this C6 move. And the funny thing about C6 is I actually didn't start playing that by finding it. I started to play it because people started to play it against me and I started to lose against it. And I was like, what the hell is going on? You can't find that? That's whatever. Yeah, so C6 is a very solid move here. I really, if you play the King's Indian against this, I recommend C6. Hey, Mike Griff, how are you? Yeah, and then we're going to see Bishop H6. That's pretty standard. Okay, so the stockfish likes, I think, two different moves, right? Knight B to D7 or B5. I've been experimenting a lot with B5, and I find it a lot of fun. But I've also played Knight B to D7 a lot. I think I've mostly played B5. It's very interesting. Yeah, so black kind of gets cooked here, I think, because it's so hard to play against this. But I really do like this system, and we push the pawn, bring in the queen, and it's fun. Yeah, so now we see H4, the French defense, sure. So yeah, H4, H5, and then the idea is like they trade the bishop. They can potentially, I think you push this pawn, this, and then the knight moves or something. No, it's actually when the queen gets here, they play G4, G5, and then the knight moves, and you get checkmated a lot. Okay, so this is interesting. With the knight on D7, who knows the move we play here? Does anyone know what we do? Something you also should not do. Okay, two things. What should you do and what should you not do? Ooh. Yeah, one move you can play here is actually very bad. Knight B6. Don't touch the knight. The knight's fine where it is. The knight is actually really important where it is. Like super important where it is. What you shouldn't do is take the bishop. Okay, let me actually make this main line. Doing viewer battles. We're doing some study really quick. Okay, so what you shouldn't do. Okay, let's say H4. What you should not do is take this bishop. I think I've definitely had opponents do this against me, and this gives white a lot of chances to just beat you. Right, so that's a very bad idea. Don't do this. Don't take the bishop. Never do that. Usually you're not going to see an immediate like push here, but yeah. So now it gets a little. This gets very ballsy very quickly. Okay, so let's say E5. Oh, Stockfish actually likes the sack. That's interesting. Okay, so if we take, I'm assuming. Oh wow. Okay, look at this. Who knows the move here? This is nuts. Oh my god, look at the move here. I actually never considered this. Damn, this is good because I just found something crazy. Who knows Brest move? Bishop B2, not Bishop B2. Bishop B2 I think is like logical, but there's something like really nasty. Yeah, G4. I never considered this. Yeah, because G4, G5 hits the knight. My opponents have done this against me a lot, but my brain just didn't process this. Damn, that pawn gambit is crazy. Let's look at this. G4, G5. And then, obviously, if this knight moves, there's checkmate. That's not good. So, Brest move, knight H5. And this is quite bad. Wow. Okay, now how do you continue here? Damn, this is a nasty line. Do we sack the rock or no? Yeah, this line is disgusting. You play this LW? I didn't know you played the Jablava London system. Yeah, just Bishop E2, just pile on the knight. Because the knight's really the only thing preventing checkmate here. Yeah, so Bishop E2, and then I think... I don't even know really what black does here. Queen E7 and saying. And then Bishop takes... Oh my god, this is so bad. Pawn takes... Wow! Okay, what now? This is really interesting. Damn, this is actually kind of fucking my mind. Wow. I think there's two different ways to respond to her. Maybe there's three. So black is so cooked here. Rook takes H. You know what's funny is we don't even have to play that. We can just play like knight f3 here. That's so funny. Delaying taking because like, what the fuck is black gonna do? Blunder their queen to defend? No. Queen e6. And then, oh my god. Look how troll this is. Then we take the H pawn. Yeah, so what line was this? Did we take... Yeah, so this is if you take the bishop, which is a bad idea. The position gets like really shitty really quickly if you take the bishop. So I don't recommend taking the bishop. That's a bad call. Okay, now if we go back to, let's see, where was it? Where did we take the bishop? It was here, right? Yeah, don't take the bishop. Never take the bishop. Instead, we have the knight on d7, so we play e5. Hooray, e5. Always play e5. Damn. Okay, hold on. Let me make this the main line. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just e5 because we have the knight here anyways. Was this your game? No, we're just doing a little study session. It's a community study session. Okay, we're just going over a lot of the things. Yeah, so this is a funny position because I think I've had this a bunch of times in games. This is like, it gets very funny very quickly. There's a couple different moves you're going to see. The main one I think is bishop takes. That usually always happens. But I've been getting in a lot of trouble with this. And I said this a little while ago, but I didn't know where it was implemented. So the bishop here is actually pretty funny. It's a really important resource because you can also take, and then the queen is pinned, so they have to take. Yeah, we'll probably play a little later. Yeah, okay, another move I haven't considered though is actually pawn takes. Okay, so this is kind of equal between taking this and taking this. I guess that makes sense because they're defended, right? Yeah, so knight takes e5 I think gives black or white a little better chances here. I think the moves that I would consider is this or this. This is what I have played, just utilizing this pin and then taking, but knight g5, knight g5. Yeah, so knight g5 I think is a blunder, right? Why is knight g5 a blunder? Oh gosh, I don't know. I do know. Okay, why is knight g5 a blunder? This is an important, very important moment. What's wrong with knight g4, not knight g5? What's the problem with this? Does anyone know? Why would we not play this? This is real bad. No knight g4. Okay, I'll spoil the fun for you. Knight g4 and then they take and you're like, wait, what? So the problem with this is you're absolutely cooked here. Here, I would go so far as to say it's dead lost. Here, your only choice is really to take the bishop. Now, the problem with a move like knight g4 is it also doesn't do anything. Knight g4, you're not actually like, you're literally doing nothing. You're not doing anything with knight g4. The pawn's defended, keep that in mind. So you take and then, how do you lose by force here? What does white play? Wow, look at this move. Wow, look at this just quiet move, just taking the pawn. That's actually so funny. Yeah, we're giving up the pawn, and now black has this whole center. I would say be careful when you play moves like knight g4. Be very careful. Yeah, never play knight g4 there. Yeah, instead you have, I think, 2 or 3 options. Knight takes e5, or... Yeah, knight takes e5 I think is viable. I don't know if I've ever played knight takes e5. What would that line be? Knight takes e5. Bishop takes. This is like quite bad for black, I think. I don't know if I have played this. Yeah, so this looks like it gives up a pawn too. Yeah, and then you're very cooked. The eval is like +2 for white. I don't know about taking the pawn or knight takes e5, because you are just losing the pawn, which is like, I don't know. You know, another funny thing is white's best continuation is h5. Get out of here. Wow. That's so funny. Still h5 if you play that move. Obviously, I think if we take, we see the g4, right? No, here it's bishop e2. Yeah, so the Jobava is actually kind of tricky. Wait, why? Aha, if we play G4, that doesn't exist. What's the problem with G4? Ah, the bishop. Sneaky bishop in the pocket. Yeah, no G4 here, just bishop E2, and you're actually kind of cooked. Because if the knight goes away, then this happens and that happens, and it's all very bad. Okay, yeah, so instead of taking this pawn, yeah, two options, like I said, bishop takes or pawn takes. I kind of would probably rather take with the pawn. Yeah, I think taking with the pawn is interesting. Obviously, then queen takes. Yeah, not queen takes. Yeah, white's, the problem here is that this can get really sketchy like really quickly because white's kind of just crashing forward. Always play f3, see? f3, f3. Okay, let's see how we can get out of this because this is still kind of drawy. Maybe not for humans though. I always like to play white here, but I like the c6 move from the start a lot. Now like queen e7 and then g4. Stockfish is not afraid. Funny, here we can again continue with like the b5 plan. You can take, but I kind of like b5 here. And now the bishop takes, and we ignore that. But actually, h5. I'm actually kind of curious to see how Stockfish is just like, this is fine. Because I do this in my games, and a lot of the times it's not fine. It's never fine. Okay, so there's two candidate moves here. What do you guys think? Oh my god, there's actually way more than two. There's a bunch of different moves. But I'm gonna highlight why I like c6. I want to see what Stockfish plays. I'm kind of curious how Stockfish plays this line. I think there's like probably a bunch of like good moves here. And it's also kind of funny how a5 is a very good move. Knight g8? Knight g8? I don't think knight g8 is... I'm gonna say knight g8's a... maybe not great, maybe a mistake. I don't know. Knight g8. It's not a mistake, but it's actually a good idea. Oh, knight g8. I don't think it's like the top moves. Looks like it could be one of my games. Yeah. Knight g8, interesting. Knight g8 wasn't on my radar. I think it's a bit of an inaccuracy, but it's definitely an interesting idea. Here we have two different ideas. I think the point is that we need to like counterattack. Amazingly, a5 is very strong here, and I do play a5 in a lot of my games, but I get absolutely cooked here. And it's also kind of funny because Stockfish is like, a5 is totally fine, which is kind of shocking just because of how sketchy this position looks. I think in a lot of games, sometimes we see like takes, right? But this is totally fine because how is this? Wait, no, not takes. Takes for the F pawn, my bad. Yeah, never play that. Brain kind of cooked itself. Yeah, so shockingly, this is fine. But usually after this, I run into like the G push and I get absolutely screwed here. So how does Stockfish be like, this is okay? Wait, what? Okay, never mind. They're completely equal. I didn't know that both of these moves are equal. Okay, let's say they do this. King G8. They can't just push here? This is fine? Wait, I'm confused. How is this fine? This is so sketchy though. Now black has like a tiny advantage. Knight h5. Okay, but the rook sack looks like wild, right? That's something. Giving up the c pawn. Wow, this is actually kind of nutty counterplay here. Wow. Okay, that's kind of shocking. Hey, Pawn Stormer. Black is like slightly better, which is just, I mean, that's some shit. I'm not gonna lie, but damn. Yeah, rook a6, kicking the queen. I guess in a way, like white's attack sort of just fizzles out, which is kind of a mindfuck. Queen d5 check. Yeah, king h8, right? Wow, and then we lose another pawn. Rook a7, protecting the knight. Yeah, this is kind of wild how... Wait, how are we not losing? Isn't this attacked 3 times? Am I crazy? It's defended twice, right? Hold on. What happens if they take? Oh, wait, what? Wait, this is fine, but it's defended. It's defended. Wow. Damn. Damn, look at that. That's a nightmare. They can't defend themselves. Oh my god. Oh, but the queen. There's a queen here. I guess this is the bigger threat, right? Rook d8. Wow. Okay. Knight c3. They push the H pawn. Dude, this is crazy. The way Stockfish handled this was wild. That's nuts. Okay, so I think the critical move that I just learned after g4, why have I never played knight h5? I don't know. Knight h5 is something for sure. Huh. Knight h5. So this is the move to play for an advantage here. That actually hurts my brain. Wow. That's best move, by the way, sacking the rook. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree, Victor. Dangerous under the low time controls, for sure. Knight h5. I think this is... White, I would give an advantage here, like, every time. Anything we can do instead? I don't think so. I mean... You know what's funny? You could also... Here you could play knight e8 because the queen's protecting the pawn. Okay. I feel like knight e8 is also completely fine. What opening is this? This is King's Indian versus Jobava. Knight e8, huh? And then this turns into a draw. I mean, because you kind of like shut down, you know, black's play or white's play. That is very, very funny. Damn. Okay, so here are the two ideas I need to remember are this and this. Wow, 98's really funny. Wow, and you don't even have to worry about the knight with the rook because it's defended by the bishop. Damn, this is definitely a bit of a mindfuck. What would you guys play? Would you play, after this, would you guys play this or this? Knight e8 or knight h5? Oof. Huh. Knight h5 seems like too risky. Right, 98. 95 seems like... Or knight h5 seems nuts. You would play knight h5? Knight h5 is so ballsy. Depends who has more time. That's fair. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's fair. Two cool ideas, though. Okay, if we don't see g4, though... But this is where it gets even more tricky because the problem here is that white doesn't have to play this g5 move. They can just play knight h3. Thank you, Edgar. Dude, I hate these positions. Like, but the funny thing here is that obviously two pieces can't go to one square. And it would be a huge problem if both the pawn and the knight could go here simultaneously because then you'd probably be in trouble, but maybe not in trouble. Yeah, from here, I think we have like simmered down a lot of the counterplay ideas, which is funny. Queen g7. Let's see, is that good or no? Queen g7 is actually, or g7 is kind of shit, amazingly. The fish, the fish would be like, the fish is like play knight c5. Forget about all your problems and play knight c5. Yeah, wow, okay. It's like develop your knight, it's doing nothing. Even though, what is it doing here? Taking knight g5. Actually, they ignore. With queen g7. Oops. Fuck me. Where was this? What did we see? We saw a knight here, right? Yeah, with queen g7, because white's on the defensive, they just ignore it. And they play a move like queen d2. Queen e2, queen e3. I think if white were to trade here, I don't think it would make sense, right? I think white can trade here, but I mean, they're being aggressive and they want their queen. So if this, they just move back, right? This or this. Wow. Yeah, so here the fish is like, just play knight c5. I'm trying to see, the Masters database has never gotten to this position. I guess that makes sense. I wonder where it cuts off. Yeah, and then, okay, knight g5. Like I said, if there was a pawn here too, it'd be a problem. Luckily, there's not. Yeah, but what do you play here, though? I mean, is this not falling? No, it's defended 3 times. I forgot knights move backwards. Whoops. Okay, I'm kind of curious here. Knight e6. Wow, so it wants a reroute. Wow. Stockfish is so troll. It predicted, no, I just knew. Wow, what an interesting idea. Oh my God. Knight c5 to knight here to kick away this knight. Wow. Yeah, and I think this is interesting because now white's attack is like, it's definitely, I think, more annoying. But it also kind of doesn't exist somehow. Here the fish likes a4. Yo, that's crazy. What? Hold on, I'm kind of curious here. a4, what the fuck is this? Dude, Stockfish is nuts. What if you take bishop c4? Oh, that's really annoying. Dude, this is nuts. What do you even play here? Why does b4 okay now? Oh? What the fuck is this? What is this line? This is a... What the hell is this line? This is... No, dude, this is nuts. This is a draw. How is this a draw? What? Somehow this is a draw. In what world? King's too open? I mean, I guess so. King b1, right? Yeah, if you don't know, a move like King b1, if you're playing the Jobava against the King's Indian, really, really important. An umbrella pawn. Use it as an umbrella. You don't take it. If you take, you're cooked. Wow, this is crazy. Black's up 4 points of material, and Stockfish is like, yeah, this is a draw. Imagine your opponent did this shit to you, and you're like, okay, I'm totally winning here. Are you playing yourself? No, I'm studying. What are you talking about? I like playing myself. Okay, so look at this. Queen a3. Oh my God, what a resource. Bishop a2. What the fuck is this? What is this line? Sacrifice the queen, the king takes. What the fuck is this? Yo, could you guys imagine? Could you imagine? This is winning. It's a draw. It's a complete draw. Imagine your opponent pulled this out. Oh my fucking God. By the way, if you blundered and took the pawn, this whole line doesn't work. So look at this. So this line is only a draw, but this is a blunder, taking the pawn. And then we see bishop c4. Dude, what the fuck is this? This is some hogwallish. What was the difference? Oh, because we can't take the knight. Dude! What a crazy draw line. That's nuts, dude. And that's how you get out of it. In case you didn't know. Can we check bishop a6? Yeah. When are we looking at bishop a6? Yeah, just tell me when. Was it here? Right here. Okay. Yeah, so of course Stockfish is like, you fucking dumbass. Yeah, I think this is a blunder, amazingly. Yeah. Bye. Queen. Nope, knights move backwards. Wait, get me back there. Where was I? Why is it a blunder? I keep forgetting the knights move backwards. Here it is. Bishop a6, knight takes, queen takes. Oh my god. No, not queen takes h7. Just the typical. Wait, so they're sacrificing for g5. Yeah. Wow, look at this. It's not a sacrifice even. Bishop a6, they just ignore you and they're like, fuck you. And then we take, and then they push the pawn. Knight h5. So we've discovered that knight h5 is actually not so great. Okay, knight h5, and then, yeah. Amazingly, the rook sack here is actually really, really solid. Right? Rook sack. Oh, this is genius. Yeah. Wow. It's so these positions are just like absolutely nutty. Just nuts. I think you have to be so careful. How do we avoid this? Yeah, bro. Wait a minute. I really do like this b5. It's best move here, rook a7. Shit. Gaming, I'm gonna share the study after if you want to look. But there's a lot of lines we're like looking at. Okay. But I was showcasing this c6 b5 idea, which I really like. Bishop takes, the king takes. The king takes. What's that from? Yeah, I think another what's another annoying move? I actually, let's see the Lichess player. Yeah, it's like always h5. You know what's so funny? With h5, white actually, or black has more odds to win, which is really wild. Damn, I actually can't believe that. I guess on Lichess. But somehow black is struggling against g5, which is blowing my mind. g5 is not even great, right? Because knight h5. Somehow the Lichess players struggle against g5. I'm always happy if my opponent plays g5 and then I plant the knight on h5. I'm like, this is okay. I fail to see why this is an issue. This and yeah, so this is why this this pawn push idea is so good. Here we just push. No, we're not losing. Kind of amazing. And then I think we get some really nice like counter-attacking stuff here. What if they take? Isn't that cool? Hit the queen. Very nice. And then they could take their own bishop and then you're in a lot of trouble. Damn. See, if we didn't have the pawn push, we couldn't even set this up. But with this c5 or c6 and b5, we get a lot of interesting counter-attacking stuff. Okay, what if the knife goes there? Queen c5 here. What? They take? Oh! Oh, who sees the move? Oh, this is nasty. Oh my god. Wow. I can't believe this line works. Pin the queen. And then they play queen d6. What? Yeah, and then this game is like, this game is good. then you're really happy. And then you can play a normal game and then you don't have to worry about losing because white's attack doesn't exist anymore. Damn. Bishop h3. Damn. Yeah, this line in the Jobava against the Jobava is very, very tricky. I think this is one of the biggest drawbacks of playing the King's Indian is that you have to play against this, which is super annoying. I think the most success I found is playing the c6 b5. Yeah, the way Stockfish handles it is very funny. From here, yeah, I mean, there's a couple other moves. Like I think there's also rook e8, obviously knight c6, knight b to d7. But I think those are less gooder, like much less gooder. Because those lead to like very cramped spaces. I think if we look at like this, let's say this. Oh, it actually likes bishop takes here. That's funny. I never take the bishop. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. Bishop takes. The queen takes. e5. Okay. I usually see this. Wow, okay. This is interesting because here I would never play the move that Stockfish is like, this is the top tier move, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah, knight g4 is, you know, sometimes I play knight g4, but I've also stopped playing knight g4. Stockfish likes a6. That's funny. No knight for you. Ignore everything and play a6. Okay, let's see how it gets out of this. Hey, b5 now, sure. h5. Okay. Right. Apparently you could just play b4 here. Okay. Because now this is pretty sketchy. Can't really take here. If you do, you're in a lot of trouble. Hey, how does white win here? White wins here by playing g7. The fuck? g7? What the hell is that? Oh, dude. How does white win here? Okay, let's play this out. I'm kind of curious. Bishop g4? Let's play knight c... Wow, it wants knight c6. Amazing. Dude, the fish is disgusting. Apparently f3 is a blunder. Ah, f3 bishop h5. That's so funny. Okay, so bishop e2 immediately. How do they clear this out though? This position is so bad it still wants you to play bishop h5. Or bishop f5. Damn, what the fuck is this, man? Queen d7. Okay, I don't think so, but let's... I mean, queen d7, I think they can also just play f3. No, queen d7, they just take the knight. Maybe they can play f3, but... Also, what's hilarious here is that the second best move is to ignore and play knight f3. Knight f3 threatening this. Dude, this is insane. Absolutely bonkers stuff. Okay, what is okay, let's go back again. I still am like a firm believer in c6 b5 and just pushing the pawns. I think playing against a real person, they would get like annoyed. Maybe. That's what I found. People just tend to get annoyed. That's right, Garment. We could also see h4. When I'm playing this as white, I usually just play h4. Yeah, so, but this I guess gives the opportunity to play h5. Maybe I think I'm gonna start playing this instead of h4. I think that makes sense. Because then they can't play h5. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in c6. Okay, let's see how the the Elite Chess games go. Okay, so usually bishop h6. Let's say h4. We haven't looked at this. Now there's this h5 move. h5, it's like, if you don't play h5, you're gonna get smoked here. So always play h5. Oh my god. You know what white plays here? Well, if you play the Jobava, you probably do know. What do you guys think white plays here? Oh, f3. Always play f3. Yeah, well, obviously f3 makes sense here. And yeah, so this is why I like this c6 system, because you still play b5. Right, so you're kind of, it's like pawn storm versus pawn storm here. Yeah, me too, gaming, me too. But I run into huge problems here, like massive issues, but I do have a way better win rate now, but with this g4 move is like super a massive pain in the ass. If your opponent pushes, you just thank them. You thank them for pushing. But here, no, you don't take. The idea of the c6 b5 system is to counterattack, right? And then if they take, they're absolutely cooked. And I have experienced instances where opponent takes. But also to note, bing, bang. That's funny. Okay, I have to keep this in mind. Take here first, hitting the queen. Okay, that's another reason, because I actually don't play this myself. No, I do play this, but I haven't studied why you need to do these things. So I know you play b4, but I didn't realize that if they take, you take the knight first, hitting the queen instead of taking this. But what's also funny is that if you take here, it's a draw, which don't go for. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now black is completely winning because you just won a piece. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I think here white plays one of two moves. Would be very surprising if they played this. Yeah, one of two, right? As white, this is actually pretty funny because I actually play knight b1 a lot. It's hard to say which is better. I guess this is a little better, right? Huh? What are we talking about? Ooh, okay. So this is kind of nasty too. Another idea, instead of pushing your a pawn, because I'll push my a pawn a lot, is actually to push the c pawn. So how the fuck does this work? What if takes? Ooh, okay, this is really nice. Because if they take, then we get this. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Look at this. Damn, see, I never considered c5. c5 is really nice. We're just studying. Simple. I guess I could pin it. Studying. Here. I guess, wait, let's make this clear. Yeah. Okay. Wow, c5 is such a good resource. Okay, if they take queen a5. Whoa, okay, this is nuts. So, I mean, I don't think a human will ever do this, but they allow that. I guess if you take, it's really bad. You're probably... Wow, this is even close to a draw. How is this close to a draw? Okay, this is disgusting. Oh my god, and this is probably a mistake too, because this and then this pawn is defended, and then you're... I bet you're lost there. That's not good. Said knight c6. Wow. Yeah, this is a pretty disgusting line. My God, c5. Okay, I'm gonna remember this move. Queen a5. You could also play knight c6 here, which is kind of nasty, and you could also blunder your queen. Huh? Yeah, this is a big no-no. So the reason I haven't played c5 is because, damn, and you know what sucks is I've had this position recently, like very recently, and I haven't played c5 because I'm like, okay, c5 they take, and then I can't take. That is disgusting. Attack the knight if they play queen a1. Wait, what? Attack the knight if you play queen a1. Let's see. This earlier. Okay, never mind. The one issue I have here is that c5 might not always work. Now I'm wondering when it doesn't work. Funnily enough, white could just ignore this. And they could just play bishop g5. Yeah, everything works if you play perfectly. Right, but I think I like this idea because I've never seen queen a5. Is what I'm saying. This would definitely catch some people off guard. But then at the same time, is this too risky? Okay, this feels too risky though, right? I mean, I don't know. Bro, your best move here is e5. Not even to take the pawn, just to play this shit because it's defended. I don't know. Haley Mando. Is c5 too risky? I don't know. I feel like it could be. Yeah, I mean, this line is so annoying. This might be one of my most hated things to play against when people do it well. Bishop g5, do you ever take? Or g5? Wow, this is funny. It's like ignore everything. Bishop e6. Hey boy, how are you, bro? Thank you for the 2, man. Pin the knife to the bishop. Aww. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Sorry, brother. Well, don't worry. We can go back in time. Look, we're cheating. Look, I'm cheating. I'm going back. I'm going back moves. When? We're doing study. The Scotch, then the goofy London. This is the London on steroids. It's the Joblava London. When did you want to pin it? Bishop a6 was the move. Okay. Here you wanted to play bishop a6, right? I think bishop a6 is potentially just a blunder, to be honest. After pawn takes. Oh, you're gonna have to be specific. Here after pawn takes, right? Right now, bishop a6. I would never ever play bishop a6 here. Later, okay. Here, bishop a6 here. Okay. I'm gonna have to say bishop a6 is a serious fuck up. It is a serious fuck up. I mean, with bishop a6, I think they just, honestly, I think they just take the pawn and you're in a lot of trouble. Okay, so playing a move like c5, you have to notice that we're already down 2 pawns. So with like, I think this, you're in a lot of trouble, right? They just take. Right, and then this position becomes really awkward. Keep in mind, you have to take this pawn, and that also takes a couple moves. But first, you need to do this. By the way, yeah, so Breast Stockfish move is just rookie 8, but yeah, you're already in a lot of trouble here. Like, a lot of trouble. So, just pinning it's a fun idea, but you're kind of fucked, right? Now we just gave the white time to play king b1. This is no longer a threat, and now your position is in shambles. Keep in mind that white is now up 3 pawns. Yes, we could take, but I think even taking here is, again, probably a blunder, right? Do they ever just trade queens or something, right? I think maybe they can trade queens. Yeah, I guess they just trade queens. And that's all she wrote, right? Yeah, I would be very, very careful with like playing random moves when the position calls for you to do something that's not random. But this is a very tricky position. Like, this position is completely fucked. Let's not lie. This is a terribly fucked position. Like here the fish wants e5 because we're just like, fuck off bishop. Bishop g5. Bishop e6. Yeah, but here it's like we're down 2 pawns. White has this pass pawn. No. See, I've done something like this before though, but I've never. I mean, I have one. I have because of the counterplay. B3 apparently. The fuck is B3 allowing this? Such a nuts position. This and then maybe knight c6. Yeah, knight c6. It's all good, Garantina. Now we're just going over some stuff. What would happen if you sack the knight? Okay. We sack the knight, then the bishop and queen a3. Okay. So here, right? Sack the knight and then sack the bishop and then queen a3, correct? I'm looking at this and I already think this doesn't work. I think I see the idea, but I just feel like this doesn't work somehow. That's what you mean, correct? Like sack the knight, sack the bishop, queen a3. Yeah, okay. This is the sack, correct? Like right here? Because this hits the queen. Okay, come on. This is a forcing sack. Yeah. Okay. And then the bishop. And then queen a3. I'm wondering here if you sack the bishop. I'm also wondering if black just plays king b1 or white plays king b1. And that looks pretty annoying. Yeah, I think you have no counterplay, but maybe they don't play king b1. I'm trying to think of like what I would do. Like if I was playing as white here and then they did this against me, I would actually be a little worried, but I don't know if this is forcing. I wonder if they just play king b1. Let's find out. So what's really funny here is king b1 is apparently a draw, but even funnier, they can just take. And they're completely winning. Damn. I guess this doesn't work because what are you going to do anyways? Bishop e6, but how do they shut out bishop e6? I'm wondering, what do they do here? It's actually a good point. This and then king a1, bishop e6. Oh. No. They just defend the pawn. That's so stupid. What a dumb board game. Oh, okay. The Grunfeld. Okay. Yeah, we've done this for like an hour. All right, we can switch this up. The Grunfeld. Grunfeld. All right, Bob plays as Okay. Wait, Grenfell is black, correct? I don't play the Grenfelds. Tell me the moves. How do I get into this this Grunfeld nonsense? I think the Grunfeld is like pretty theory heavy, right? Yeah, I don't know how to get into this. What is it? Still G6? Is it D5, right? It's like G6, D5 or something. So D4. Do you play? Wait, knight F6, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you gotta keep telling me how to get into this. Okay, C4. Thank you. Do you play D5 now? Okay, I don't know. You have to just let me know. Okay, G6. The USA is so great. Did they create USB? Yeah, the USA is so great. Knight C3. Okay. And then D5, right? Yeah. Right? Is this it? I don't even know, bro. Let me look up Grunfelds. Here we go. Played it out of order, probably. Okay, I think it is C4. That must be what it is, right? Okay. Knight F6, C4. That's got to be it, right? We're just going over some studyings of steadiness. I could go over some of your guys' games. Would that be a better idea? Oh my god, I think you guys can just send me your games, and then I could just add them to this study. Oh wait, that would make way more sense. Yeah, because the idea is that I just want to start building a little database of stuff that I'm reviewing for you guys. How to send it? Discord would be great. Yeah, I could do some. I guess maybe I'll rename the title. Maybe I'll restart really quick and just title it "Reviewing Viewer Games" or something. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I like reviewing games. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that might be more beneficial for you guys, I think, than this, because a lot of what I'm doing is just like very like specific random shit. Yeah, I guess I could do some of reveal some of your guys' games. I don't mind. Restart it really quick. And then I think what I'll do though is I'll just put them in the study, and then you guys could see the games. Okay, let me restart the stream really quick, and I'll just retitle it. Same concept. You guys can just send me games. Yeah, put them in the Discord though. All right, I'll be back in like 2 seconds.